Why is it that when you multiply 1,000 by 0, that you get 0?
Let me try to explain why 1,000 times 0 is equal to 0 in 4 different ways, and hopefully at least one of these methods will make sense to you.
There were 1,000 of them. Where did they go?
First, it seems that this person has in mind that there is 1,000 objects, and we're going to multiply that quantity by 0 and see what we get. Now, if we started with 1,000 things and we multiplied that set by 3, 1,000 apples times 3, now we have 3,000 apples. If I multiply 1,000 apples by 2, I'm doubling the number of apples and I get 2,000. If I just multiply by 1, then I have the apples I started with, so I have 1,000. So if I multiply by 0, if you follow the pattern there is 3,000 apples, 2,000, 1,000. So what the answer should be is that now we have 0 apples when we multiply these 1,000 apples by 0. In other words, if I have 3 times 1,000 apples, I have 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000 apples, so I have 3,000 apples. If I have 2 times 1,000, I have 1,000 plus 1,000. If I have 0 times 1,000, then I don't have any thousands of apples to add, I have 0 apples. A second approach is to use the commutative law. 0 times 1,000 is also 1,000 times 0. If I have 3 times 1,000, that is 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000, 3 thousands, but it is also 3 plus 3 plus 3 ... plus 3, so the addition of 1,000 threes. So if I apply the same logic to 0 times 1,000, that will be 0 plus 0 ... plus 0, so the addition of 1,000 zeros. But it doesn't matter if I add 3 or 1,000 zeros, I still will have 0. A third approach is to use area models. 3 times 1,000 is the area of a rectangle that has base 1,000 and the height is 3. So the area is 3 times 1,000, it's 3,000. So what is the area of a rectangle of height h and base 1,000? That is 1,000 times h. Now, if h goes to 0, if h is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and closer to 0, that area will shrink to 0. Namely, because if the rectangle has height equal to 0, then it is just a line and it has no area. So the area of a rectangle of height 0 and length 1,000 is 0. Finally, we can use a more mathematical approach. 1,000 times 0 is, well, I don't know, so let's call that x. Now, because 0 is equal to 0 plus 0, 1,000 times 0 is the same as 1,000 times quantity 0 plus 0. And then you can use the distributive law, and that is equal to 1,000 times 0 plus 1,000 times 0. But 1,000 times 0 is what we called x, so what we are getting here is an equation that says x is equal to x plus x. I still don't know what x is, but I can subtract x on both sides and get that x must be equal to 0.